Yo, welcome to another episode of the Culture Controversial Podcast, man. I'm your host, Simply Nicholas 87, and my co-host, Ty H.
Good evening, folks. Glad to be back with you again.
And for all the people that have subscribed to the channel, we appreciate y'all. And for all those that haven't subscribed yet, y'all hit that subscribe button, man. We almost saw our goal, so just let's keep pushing forward. And thanks for everybody that's sharing the content as well. Um, Playoff time is upon us.
Yes, it is.
hmm
Didn't expect to be here.
Didn't expect to be here, but we are here. We are
And we
here.
got a new lease on life. We got a new life and got a chance to do something with our new life.
Yes, we do. But before we get into that, we're gonna recap last week's game, and we got a friend of the show, pretty much pretty much like a part of the show. Coach Harris will be joining us soon. He's running a little behind, but he will be in here as well, um, as they prepare for their playoff uh journey as well.
Super excited to have Coach Harris here. He's, like you said, a mainstay, de facto member of the Controversial Podcast. And anytime he's here, he always provides great coaching insight and he gives the perspective of a coach. So it's always good to have his insight here. He helped us see things that we may have ordinarily wouldn't see. So his insight's always appreciated. And I'm excited for him to join us this evening.
Oh yeah. And what's going on, Trevor Mack? What's going on with you, man? Shout out to Trevor Mack. Shout out to Sco. Appreciate y'all for following through. It's Greg. Oh, what's going on, Greg? All right. Let's recap last week's game. I did attend that game.
I wasn't
Uh,
there, so it's all on you.
all right, Anson played the Parkwood. They're not the Rebels anymore. The Wolfpack.
Wolfpack. Wolfpack.
Wolfpack. Anson came victorious, 22-20, in a game that had two tales of two different stories. But I'll break it down. All right, so we start the game off, moving the ball very well, scoring at efficient drives. We had some stalled drives in the first half. I think we went into the half 12-0 at the half. We come out in the second half. I know we usually have those slow second halves, but we came out, scored again. Oh, wait a minute, it might have been 14. I'm sorry. Well, no, it was 12. 12, 20. Okay, yeah. It was 14. Then they got the 2 point. So it was 14 and a half. I'm sorry, I had it wrong. 14 and a half. um, we come out in the third quarter, score a touchdown, 2 point conversion as well. We're up 22-0 going into the fourth quarter. Now here's where things get a little shaky, and what scared me a lot. We allowed Parkwood to get very close in the fourth quarter, score 20 unanswered. But we were able to hold them off just enough with a surprise fake punt, get the first down and run the clock out. What I will say is we played good for 3 quarters, but the fourth quarter wasn't our best quarter. I will say that.
Well, I mean, what happened in the fourth that disappointed you the most or had you concerned? Like what?
Uh,
Cause what happened to? Because I know in the first three quarters when I was keeping track of the score, it seemed like we were in control. So, what happened in the fourth quarter that kind of left you concerned or had you a little concerned late in the game?
um, Quarterback not getting to the quarterback. Quarterback was able to make some good throws in the pocket, outside of the pocket. Um, Hit a couple of end zone touchdowns for some deep shots. Um, the quarterback, I mean, he came alive in the fourth quarter. I don't know what happened, but he came alive, and it's been a telltale story of this season. Our secondary is having struggles, and it showed in the fourth quarter they were able to climb back into that game. It actually became a nail biter with like less than 2 minutes. They recovered some onside kicks. That special teams is another thing that kind of scares me too because we didn't line up for the onside kick when the score was 14-22. We weren't able to line up for the onside kick. I think we lined up in a regular kickoff formation. They were successful on the onside kick. Now, I will say this about that kick. I didn't think it traveled 10 yards, but that was the ref's call. They called it with the way they called it. But nonetheless, we weren't lined up anyway for it. I think we were just lined up in normal kickoff. So, yeah, that's kind of scary when you look at it in that point of view because at that point the game they still had a fighting chance to take the go ahead lead and probably win the game, but we were able to capitalize on the special teams play at the end to secure the victory. Um, they were I would say not a they were a dirty playing team. They had a lot of unsportsmanlike penalties on them as well
And
for like
That's part of Woods culture. They've been like that for several years.
years. Yeah,
Yeah, but they went home with an L, so take that,
yeah,
MFs.
yeah. They can take that to the bank and cash it. But we were able to pull out the victory. It looked good for three, but like I said, the fourth quarter, it shouldn't even been that close. I don't think that they should have not let them. The seven, the one of the end zone catches, I that was a pretty good catch. I give him that one, but those other two, those shouldn't have never happened. I think those are blowed coverages and missed assignments. And
Yeah,
quarterback shouldn't have never had that much time to do what he needed to do. He was able to get away from a couple sacks. So yeah, that was really that really kind of made that game what it was. Because if you looked at like you said in the third quarter, that game was nowhere near in reach.
yeah.
But
But you
we
know,
were we came out with the W. The win is a win.
yeah, I was gonna say, but you know, we still held on to win the ball game, and
Yep.
turned out that was a meaningful game. That victory meant something because it put us at 2-3 in our league, and not only did it do that, it kept our RPI rating high enough for us to qualify for the state playoffs.
Mhm.
So it's good that our guys had pride, came out and came away with a victory. Because had they not, they would have been standing outside this weekend. But now we have an opportunity to extend our season, and now we have a new lease and a new life on our season. And we're now playing in the 4A state playoffs, and we have a game coming up this Friday. Yeah,
Yes.
and I'll let you segue into that.
All right. Our playoff game, as you know, we were 4A. We were put into the Eastern region of the 4A state playoffs, and we are out of 24 teams, number 24.
Yeah,
Um, the format is a little different this year. Minus 1A and 8A. There are 8 buys in each classification from 2A to 7A,
yeah,
and 1A and 8A have 4 buys. So if you were
yeah.
ranked in the top four or the top eight, you got to buy this week. So meaning that
Right.
you will play week. You're pretty much in round two, waiting for your
Yeah,
opponent.
and the reason for that, 1A and 8A have the least amount of teams in their classification, so that's
Mm,
why you see a lesser amount of buys. I think even a lesser amount of teams because 8A only has 32 teams in the entire classification. I can't remember how many 1A has, but those are the least populated classifications. Whereas 2A through 7A all have roughly 64 schools apiece. In our class 4A, Out of the 64, only 57 of them carry varsity football teams. In order to qualify for the playoffs, your RPIs was used to rank and seed the teams. The 48 teams, 24 in the East, 24 in the West, make it. Our RPI was in the high 40s, around that 47, 48 range. So that victory allowed us to qualify for the state playoffs this year. So, you know, instead of laying down and saying forget about it, they came out, played hard, and earned themselves an extra game and earned themselves a new season. It's a new
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
It's a new life. It's
Mhm.
a new opportunity,
Yep.
a new chance to at redemption,
Mhm.
a new chance to change the perception,
Mhm.
a new chance to right everything that's been wrong.
Yeah.
It's a brand new lease on everything.
Um. Yeah. It's 0-0 now. Like I said, this is round one this week. You pretty much got teams 9 through 24 playing each other. Um. And we are actually taking on the. I think it
Eastern
is the
Wayne
ninth. Yeah, they're the
and
ninth
Mac, yeah.
seed. The ninth seed versus the 24th seed.
Yeah, Eastern Wayne. That's where Manny Lawson, former NC State legend, former Buffalo Bills outside linebacker,
Mhm.
former San Francisco 49ers linebacker. That's where he played his high school football. I've always known Eastern Wayne to have solid tradition, good athletes. Obviously, Manny Lawson was the first round draft pick.
Yeah.
We had a first round draft pick a few years later, and Stephon Anthony ourselves. So
Yeah.
these two schools have never crossed paths, to my knowledge, but a good tradition out of both of them. Of course, with us, the last couple of years, we've been a middle of the road program. This year, we took a step back, and it's been a struggle this year. But nevertheless, we found ourselves in this situation with this opportunity. Uh, I want to go over show where Anson production wise, the individual production of our players, and as we look at
Okay.
the matchup.
All
So
right.
as if you look at where some of the standout or the notable performers at Anson, of course, we're a run heavy team, so it would all start with the ground game. If you look at our ground attack, um, our leading rusher was Cordarius Bivens. He had 157 carries for 968 yards, 6.2 yards a carry,
Mhm.
averaged 96.8 rushing yards a game. Um, he had four 100 plus yard games, led the team in rushing touchdowns as well with 11 rushing touchdowns.
Mhm.
Right behind him was Tashawn Harris, 176 carries for 887 yards, 5 yards a pop, 88.7 yards per game. He had three 100-yard efforts this year, 10 total touchdowns. Um, Mr. Legrand, the sophomore, he came later on into the season, but 37 carries for 217 yards, 5.9 yards a pop, 31 yards a game. He was kind of a late bloomer to the season, I think, after some injuries. He became a contributor. Then, of course, we had Mr. Allen at
Mhm.
152 yards, James Steele with 151 yards, Jackson Stinson with 119 yards, Titus Mongo 60 yards, Doc Hyatt 52 yards, Mr. Richardson 29 yards, Mr. Medlin 26 yards, Mr. Thomas 15 yards, Mr. Lilly 14 yards, Mr. Bird 4 yards. Um, I see a yard from the other Stinson, but I think that was like a fumble recovery.
Mhm.
Um, uh, so that's kind of you can see with us, everything starts at the ground. As a team, for the season, we rushed for 2,740 yards, 5.6 yards carried. That's 274 yards a game, seven rushing touch. Excuse me, 30 rushing touchdowns. You know, one thing about a great rushing attack that can travel to any location. And in this time of year, when it's starting to get colder, that's a
Mhm.
game that ages well into the cold. I said, yeah, we lost a lot of games, but one thing we have going for us, we were able to run the ball consistently and able to
Yeah.
run the ball of volume. I said, when you're averaging 274 yards a game, that's something that the defense has to account for. I think throughout the season, our biggest Achilles when it comes to offense has been turnovers, and that's kind of what's cost us a lot of games. If you look at the turnovers. Give me a second. I'm gonna especially the fumbles lost.
Yeah.
Let's first go with fumbles. For the season as a team, we fumbled the ball 22 times, and we lost 15 of those fumbles. 15 lost fumbles in the season. I mean, that tells you the story.
Yeah.
Those fumbles, the record shows 2-8. Those 15 lost fumbles probably, if you protect the ball, typically you don't lose any more than maybe 3 or 4 fumbles in the season, and that's even kind of pushing it.
Yeah.
If you were at average, if you lost that many fumbles in the season, let me just see how many fumbles Eastern Wayne lost. Eastern Wayne only have a record of 9 games, 6-3. I don't know if they had a game that got canceled or what,
Mm.
but if we look at their fumbles, they lost 9 fumbles this year. That's too many. But that lets you know the difference of six. I'm just using that as an example. They
Right.
lost 9 fumbles, so we lost 15 fumbles. Out of those 6 fumbles, the difference of 6 fumbles, that probably could be a difference of 3 or 4 wins that you didn't have.
True.
Um, they had 9 fumbles, they lost all 9 of them, and which is way too many as well. That lets you know that they're prone to fumble the ball as well, just not as much as we did. But that lets you know those extra 6 fumbles or so could have likely been the difference between maybe winning 6 or 7 games versus only winning 2 games. 15 fumbles lost is way too many. To be fair, a lot of that happened in the
In the
first half
beginning.
of the season, and
Right.
this cleaned up a little bit. So we're gonna have to play nearly flawless football to win that game tomorrow. As far as how Eastern Wayne matches up with us, I haven't watched any film of them, but just looking at their numbers, they look like a pretty balanced football team. They look like they lean run first, but they will take shots downfield just based on their numbers. I'm looking at their QB numbers through 9 games. Uh, they threw for 1,671 yards, 18.4 yards per attempt. So that
Mm.
means that when they do throw it, they're throwing downfield. 185
Feel.
yard,
Hmm.
185.7 yards per game, 18 rushing touchdowns, to 10 interceptions, and a long of 80-yard pass. From their rushing attack for the season, they rushed for 1,645 yards. So they threw for 1,671, rushed for 1,645. That's a
That's
balanced
balance
offense.
to
Yeah.
offense. Yeah.
If you look at their rushing, their leading rusher rushed for 630 yards. The second leading rusher rushed for 611 yards. So looked like they kind of split the carries, did the committee thing. They had
Hmm.
another runner, a couple of other runners that went over 100 for the season. They averaged 7 yards carry, 182.8 yards a game. So on average, they threw for 185.7, ran for 182.8. That's almost 50-50. The balance offense. Their team, they're not one dimensional.
Hmm.
It seemed like when they need to throw the ball downfield, they're able to throw the ball downfield. When they need to line up and run the ball, they're able to line up and run the ball. It's a balanced attack, not a one-dimensional attack, which is a formula for winning. Which is their ability to execute in that way is probably why they've had a winning season and finished second in their conference. They're a member of the Three Rivers 4A conference. They finished 4-2 in their league, second in their league. Um, just on the numbers, look to be a solid football team. Even on the receiving, their leading receiver, they had a receiver go for 865 yards, 23.4 yards of reception, 96.1 yards a game, 11 receiving touchdowns. Looked like this guy, his last name is Faison. That's amazing because we had the name Faison in Anson County with the old Faison school my grandfather graduated from. Just the irony of that is just making me laugh a little bit. But they have a senior wide receiver, last name Faison. He had 37 catches for 865 yards. That lets you know that they have a deep threat that we
Yeah,
have to
he's that
account for.
guy. Hmm.
Yeah, anytime you only had 37 catches, but you had 865 yards on them, you're 23.4 yards of reception. You're averaging 96.1 receiver yards, 11 touchdowns. That's someone we got to watch out for. And the thing about it, our primary weakness on defense, the biggest glaring hole in our defense is our defensive backfield, our secondary. Our defensive backfield has struggled mightily all year. So this is a big concern here for me. I'm sure they've looked at film and then they can see how we've struggled in the past. This is a game where our defensive backfield has to be ready to go. They have to be prepared, and they have to
Hmm.
understand that this is they have a playmaker who can make plays downfield, and you can't let them get behind you. That matchup worries me a lot. I know a game can go either way, but this is gonna have to be the same type formula we've used the last few weeks,
Mhm.
where we've controlled the clock of control time possession, keep that offense, the opposition offense, excuse me, the opposition's offense off the field. And not only we're going to have to keep them off field and control the time, possession, and tempo, but when we have that ball, when we're holding onto that ball, we have to cap those drives off touchdowns. We cannot walk off the field with empty possessions. We have an uphill battle. We're not going to be favored. We're probably going to be double digit underdogs, but at the end of the day, you still have to line up and play the game.
Yep.
And as long as the whistle blows, the game will be determined between the trenches, not through these stats I just read, not through these predictions that we make, not based on prognostication. It'll be won or lost in the trenches, and our guys have an opportunity to prove to people that, hey, that we can be better than some of what we showed this year. That the improvements that we made, the strides that we made, this is the opportunity to say that, hey, we are not the same team that we were in August. We're not the same team that we were in September. Heck, we're not even the same team we were in October. This is a new month. This is a new season, a new lease, and a new life.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's just a new season, new life. Again, this is my suggestion. So, we already know they probably been looking at film and seeing what uh, we're exposed to as far as defense. I think you should, whoever that number one facing is, damn if you do, damn if you don't. I live with it. Double him the whole night. You got to. Just to get rid of it. If you can minimize that, that's their top target. I'm gonna put it that way. You're gonna have to make those other guys become top players. Because if your that guy has 800 something yards, they know who the ball's going to. That's just 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, I agree. And another thing is you're going to have to disrupt the time of the QB. If he
Speed,
has a,
yeah,
you can't give a QB any QB if you give him a clean pocket. He's going to find a skillful QB is going to find his target if he constantly has a clean pocket.
right.
You're going to have to move him off. You're going to have to rush him. You're going to have to move it off his target. You're going to have to make him get rid of it before he's ready to get rid of it. And some of those times you're just going to have to bring him down to the ground. Uh,
You gotta make him
this
very
is
uncomfortable.
right because of you give him happy feet.
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know what his scrambling ability is because I don't know much about him. When I looked at their rushing yards, QB's name is Oates. I didn't see the QB. I'm wrong. It's two left shoes. He's um he's also the team's leading rusher. He's
Hmm.
Yeah, so the QB, so he averages 70 yards a game rushing. When I read the leading rusher had 630 yards, that was actually the QB number
Oh,
9.
so
Yeah, he had
he's
78. Yeah, 78 carries, 630 yards, 8.1 yards a carry, 70 yards a game. Uh, it looked like everything comes and goes with him because you got to realize he's the guy that's hitting uh, the receiver. The receiver's last name is what I said,
facing.
facing. He's
Yeah.
the one that's getting facing the ball. Also, so he's also the one that's the primary runner. They have a running back battle who rushed for 611 yards as well. But your QB has more carries than anybody on the team. They have two guys named Battle, by the way. The
Okay.
QB is your leading rusher, has 14 rushing touchdowns, 18 passing touchdowns. When it comes to the offense, it looked like that he is the guy who sets the tone. It seems like if you can corral him or you can you're not I'm not going to say stop him, but if you can make him have to work harder, make him less efficient, neutralize him in a way or slow him down, then perhaps
Hmm.
you can slow the offense down. Because just looking at the numbers, it looked like everything they want to do on offense
Goes to
starts and
to
stops
him.
with him. Yeah,
Hmm.
it comes and goes with him. He's the engine that makes the train go. Whether
Yep.
it's in the passing game or the rushing game, he's their do all. And what you want to do is make it hard for him, make it difficult for him every down, and hopefully you want to see if you can maybe wear him down or fatigue can take place or neutralize his ability to make plays. If you can neutralize his ability to make plays, and it's looking like most of the time if a guy who's your QB is rushed for 630 yards, more than likely he's a mobile quarterback. And usually the formula is what you want to do with that is not let him get out of the pocket.
So
You
you're gonna
want
have
to
to
keep
contain. Yeah.
yeah, you want to contain him. You want to have lane integrity. You want to have gap integrity. You don't want to overrun your rushes and overrun your lanes because you want to corral him and make him have to make decisions with the football.
Yep.
Most of the time, and I don't know anything about this young man, so I'm not trying to stereotype. I'm not trying to project anything on him. But I'm saying, but oftentimes when you have in high school football, definitely when your QB is also your leading rusher, lots of times the offense is an instinctive offense. It's a read and react type offense.
Mhm.
What you want to do is make him. You want to make him stay in the pocket and have to read the field and make decisions with the football and challenge him to make decisions and get the ball to his target. If you because if you take away his rushing attack, you've taken away half of the team's rushing attack, and that way
Yep.
you've neutralized and minimized the threat on the ground. As far as his passing, I feel like his running attack and their running attack is what set up their passing game. If you keep
Mhm.
him in the pocket and keep and not let him escape or break contain, you can also neutralize the passing game as well because you're making him having to make decisions with football, and that may be a formula to where you can get them uncomfortable and to a point to where you can maybe steal a ball game at the end. I mean that's what, and like I said, I have not seen any film, so everything I'm saying is just based on numbers that I see and based on
Right.
trends that usually align with those kind of numbers.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Like, you definitely have to contain him. I mean, if this is just me talking as if I had was calling defense. You're gonna have to keep him contained. So those edges, you're gonna have to contain the ends. And I mean, every now and then you're gonna have to send somebody up to A to get him moving a little bit. But
Yeah,
you still gonna have to keep contained. This that's what you're gonna have to do here and there in this game to get him rattled. You gonna have to get him off his goody foot.
yeah, and if a QB is mobile, like you said, you want the rush to come from the interior because lots of
Hmm.
times with an exterior rush with a QB who's mobile, if you come to the exterior, lots of times you're going to overrun him and he's just going to climb the pocket and just step up and he'll either have a lane to throw or a lane to run up the middle with.
Right.
Whereas if your pressure is coming up the middle, lots of times that flushes him out to where he doesn't have anywhere to go.
Hmm.
Like I noticed even watching NFL, whether they're mobile or not, when the pressure's coming up the middle, I've noticed QBs struggle the most with pressure up the middle, especially those who struggle with their escapability. With this guy, I don't think he's going to have issues with escapability, but especially QBs with low escapability, even like Tom Brady, who doesn't have any escapability at all. Um, the rush up the middle gave him more trouble than the rush from the edge because when the rush came
Edge.
from the edge, he would just climb the pocket. Same thing as Drew Brees,
Hmm.
but when the rush came up the middle, he didn't have anywhere to escape to. Even with the QB who's mobile, that rush up the edge, oftentimes he can still climb up or just climb up and run up the middle or climb up
Middle.
and step into his pocket and find who he wants. Whereas if
Hmm.
it's coming from the edge, it makes him have to reset his eyes because he can't keep his eyes downfield.
And I can
And
say,
get Go ahead,
oh, you go ahead. Go ahead. No, you
go
good.
ahead.
You good. No,
I
I
don't
was just
remember.
yeah, I was just gonna say, with a quarterback like that, I'm 9 times out of 10 in that playbook. They pretty much run QB draw, and I
Hmm
can bet a dollar to a donut that that's one of their primary plays.
And that's where we got to have lane integrity because if they run QB draw, you overrun it.
Yeah.
That's how you're susceptible to big plays. What I'm more worried about is like when trying to keep contained guys in the defensive backfield looking in the offensive backfield. I hope uh, that's I worry about blown assignments in a game like this because I worry about a guy like that scrambling around and the guys in the defensive backfield get caught backfield peeking
Mm-hmm.
and letting the receiver get behind them. I worry about that because that happens a lot. Even when you have a solid secondary, sometimes you can only cover for so long. So when a guy's running around in the backfield and scrambling around, and your
Mm-hmm.
DBs are looking in the backfield, sometimes they lose sight of the receiver getting behind them. So and gives the receiver, I mean the QB, an option to make a big play. I worry about that. Another thing I worry about is not only overrunning lanes and poor lane integrity. I worry about missed tackles. When you have someone who's mobile like that, you cannot miss tackles. If you make contact with him in the backfield, you're gonna have to bring him
You gonna have to wrap him, not grab him. You gonna have to literally grab his body, not his jersey, his body.
down. Right. Now, granted, this could end all those things that we're talking about are things like even when you played against Monroe and stuff. Those are components that they had, and you stayed in the game, so it can, you know, I'm not going to go out there and say we can't compete, but we're going to have to do some things. Some things are going to have to go our way,
Right.
and some guys are going to have to step up, make some plays. I'm talking about on our end. And
Mm.
secondly, we can't have unforced errors. Like, for example, like against Monroe, we force a turn. If we were able to force a turnover, we can't turn around and turn it right back over to the team. We have to capitalize on that. When if we catch a break, we have to capitalize on it. If and when we get down in the red zone, we got to come away with touchdowns. We can't have our drive stall out, march all the way down the field, and not come away with points. We're going to have to do things really well. We're going to have to be disciplined. We can't get behind in the down and distance. We can't have any. We can't really have pre-snap penalties. We can't have any of that, which we have done a decent job of that part with getting
Yeah.
lined up and all that. We don't really have a glaring issue there. But the point I'm making is we're going to have to play the best game that we played all year and hope some things bounce our way.
Yeah, I agree. I'll add another point to that, especially with, like you said, we are talking about mobile quarterbacks. Uh, the maximum he needs to be upright or moving around 3 seconds. I get plays happen, but 3 seconds he shouldn't be able to. He should be uncomfortable in 3 seconds. If anything over 3 seconds, it's not gonna be pretty with a mobile
Yeah,
quarterback. I can attest to that.
yeah. Well, that's what we're going to have to dictate the terms. We're going to have to force him off the spot. And so
Yeah,
yeah, because it seems like he is the offense.
yeah, yeah.
He's the engine.
Yep.
He's the nerve system. He's
He's the brain.
Mr. Yeah. You know, our guys. We got a challenge in our hand, but you know, this is the playoff football, and of course we're a lower seed, and so of course when you're a lower seed, you're going to play some of your better teams. Plus, this is playoffs. You should be playing against competition. This is it's not supposed to be easy at this point. It's
No.
November.
Mhm.
It's not supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be a cakewalk. Anything that you get at this point in the year, you're going to have to earn it.
Yeah.
And with us, we're going to have to earn it. I mean, we last year we went to Brevard. We were in the game in the first half, and you know, we kind of got some bad calls, and we had a meltdown.
Yep.
A couple of missed tackles on the screenplay. The play goes long. We get down by a couple of scores, then we get some bad calls, and we just had an absolute meltdown. And
Yeah.
this year, we're not as good as we were last year. And
Mm-mm.
going into a similar situation, going traveling a long distance, playing against a good football team. And like Coach Allen told us when we had our first show at the beginning of the year, he said that those young men who remain on this team now witnessed what they saw last year at Brevard, witnessed how some of guys who were looked at as leaders, how they handled the adversity of that game. And I think some of those guys who graduated now, I think even if you ask them if they had a chance to do it over again, I think they feel like they probably wish that they could have taken a different approach and how they handle things in the face of adversity. I can tell you one thing: you're going to face some adversity tomorrow. You're playing against a good football team. They're going
Yeah.
to challenge you. You're probably going to trail at some point tomorrow, and you're going to get some figurative haymakers thrown at you, and
Mhm.
you're either going to lay down for the count or you're going to get back up and continue to swing back, figuratively speaking.
Yeah.
This is going to show what your fortitude is. It's going to show how tough you are, and this year is really going to show: are you really a competitor or are you a pretender?
Mhm. Hey, you gotta go in the mindset. It's 11. It's 11 us on defense. We gotta all do our job. That. If you do your
Yeah,
job, I can assure you, you can stay in this game.
yeah.
And if you,
Go ahead.
no, I was just saying if, because like I said, man, the record shows 2-7, but a lot of these games,
Two and
Anson beat
eight.
Anson, or 2-8. I'm sorry,
Mm,
Anson beat Anson. I don't consider other teams did beat us, but when you look
tr-
at the grand scheme of it, Anson beat Anson.
True. On the flip side, you've had a 10-game sample. You're in November. Through November, I mean, when you play 10 games, don't get me wrong. I think the back third of the season or the back quarter of the season,
Mhm.
We have improved in our execution. But at this point, you are what you are, and a lot of what you are is because of your habits and our habits of the inability to protect the football, the poor play in defensive backfield, and that kind of stuff. Those are things that plagued us all year, and things
Mhm.
that continue to cost us games. And at this point, I mean, I think some of those things are a part of who we are, and I don't expect all that just to change or go away overnight. But something I do want to see is like, are we going to compete? When they do throw a haymaker at us, are we going to lay down for the count, or are we going to get back up? That's what I want to see. I mean, at the end of the day, we're 2-8 for a reason because we haven't played a lot of good football. More than likely, they're 6-3 for a reason because they played more good football. I mean, that's all there is to it. On the flip side, none of that really matters tomorrow
Nope.
because tomorrow is just it's a clean canvas. It's one game. It's Anson
Yep.
County versus Eastern Wayne.
Mhm.
Anything that happened in the previous 10 weeks will not factor into tomorrow. Like as far as whoever we lost to, whoever we beat, that's behind us, and that's not going to impact tomorrow's game. Whoever
Mhm.
Eastern Wayne beat or whoever they lost to is not going to impact tomorrow's game. Tomorrow's game will be determined by who comes out and performs better between Eastern Wayne and Anson County. If Eastern Wayne performs better than Anson County, they're going to beat Anson County. If Anson County performs better, they'll have a chance to win. What I'll say is that it appears that Eastern Wayne is a better football team than Anson County. I understand that, but the better team does not always win. Sometimes the better team has a bad day, and it's up to Anson to play and compete in a way that will cause Eastern Wayne to have a bad day.
Mhm. So you're gonna have to
We
get out.
need Eastern Wayne to have a bad day, and we need to do something uh, legally and cleanly on the field to make them have a bad day.
Yep. I agree, man. And it's 0-0 postseason, not regular season, postseason.
Yeah.
So
And like I say, and I know last week I made statements saying that if a team only won 2 games, that you're rewarding somebody for underperforming for getting playoffs. I still stand by that statement. I still meant it, and I'm not apologetic for that statement because I believe that's true. However, we don't make the rules either,
nope.
and since we are here, and since
Mhm.
we have that opportunity, then we need to make the best of it.
Yep.
At this point, the rules are what they are. We didn't cheat.
Nope.
We did what was necessary within the qualifications of NCHSAA, and we
Mhm.
qualified the same way every other team that's in there did as well within the
Mhm.
rules. And
Yep.
so, based on that, we've earned this position. Now
Yep.
that we've earned this position, this is an opportunity to make me eat my words. I want to eat my words from last week. And tomorrow, these young men have an opportunity to make me eat those words, and that's what I want to see.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So that's one part of the Eastern 4A. Who else do we have in that Eastern 4A bracket?
I mean, I can pull it up. Give me a second.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cause
I already had it up in okay. I already had it up anyway. I don't know what I was doing. Hold on. I
all
forgot
right.
that I pulled it before we got on here. All right. 4A East. Give me one sec.
All right. All right.
I keep looking. The side on the East is where the West usually be. But
Right.
speaking of the West, hey, I know this has nothing to do with us, but Coach Ralph Jackson, the West Stanley Colts made the playoffs too. They and over in the West, they take on Lexington tomorrow. So I'll be rooting for them. I like I always say, when it comes to Coach Jackson West Stanley, I hope they win every game except the one they play against Anson.
Yep.
I have an immense amount of respect for Coach Ralph Jackson. So to see him with his young men playing in the postseason, I'm happy for him, and I'm wishing them a successful playoff run. And I hope they pull up their upset against Lexington tomorrow. So from the Anson County family, I'm rooting for Coach Jackson and his team tomorrow. Now back
Oh
to the
yeah.
4A to the 4As.
Mhm.
All right. As far as matchups, Red Springs traveled to Jordan Matthews. Jordan Matthews in Siler City. Red Springs was a team that beat us. That I thought we beat ourselves, but nevertheless they beat us early this year, 35-33.
Mhm.
Um, of course, Eastern Wayne versus Anson Senior.
Mhm.
North Pitt versus Cummings. Carver. That's why I went to 7 versus Moorhead. That's in Eden.
Hmm.
North Johnston versus Washington. That's in Washington, North Carolina. The people call it
Carolina.
Little Washington. Yeah. And
Yeah.
North Johnston, that's like near Raleigh. That's near like Clayton and Smithfield and all that area.
Okay.
Southwest Edgecombe versus Southwest Onslow. That's like Rocky Mount, Jacksonville.
Hmm.
Clinton takes on Ledford. That's Ledford's right outside of Thomasville. If crazy thing about it, if T Wingate Andrews and High Point got a bye, if Ledford can pull an upset there, they would play Andrews and Thomasville and High Point right next to each other. That would be a rivalry game if
Rivalry
that
game.
happens.
Yeah.
And then Nash Central takes on Roanoke Rapids.
That's a
No matter what
Saturday
happens,
weekend.
if we're able to pull off an upset uh, tomorrow, if we can pull out the upset, we wouldn't have as far to travel the next game.
Yeah, but
Southwestern Randolph
no, that's in
would be who
Ashboro.
played. That's near Asheboro. That's only about an hour drive, hour and some change, hour and 15 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Uh, that's a much short drive. I mean, that's if. I mean, we'll worry about that later.
Later,
We need
yeah.
to take care of tomorrow. But I mean, that's hopeful. If we look over to the west, West Stokes versus Fort Bush. As I mentioned earlier, Lexington versus West Stanley.
Hmm.
Um, Tuscola versus East Burke.
Hmm.
And West Iredell versus Ashe County. So that's what we have on the top end of. Oh, this is looking like an NC tournament. I did some more games. It's
Yeah.
no, I did them all. Oh, wait, yeah, I called them all. Oh, I got some more West games to look at. I mean, then Fred T. Ford versus Lake Norman Charter.
Hmm.
Fred T. Ford is in Newton, and Lake
Yeah.
Norman Charter is right there in Huntersville. It's right above North
Yes.
Mecklenburg High School.
Yep.
Um, Actually, it's right above a Walmart where a famous
The baby.
rapper,
Hmm.
don't call his name, where a
No.
famous rapper, where there was a news story on one time. Uh,
Yeah. Something
uh,
happened. I mean, he
yeah,
had it right though. He went
yeah,
wrong.
I ain't getting into none of that. I'm just saying that's the news story. I kind of know some of the folks who were on the other side of that, at least some of the family members and stuff. So
I'm
it's
sorry. Yeah.
I mean, very
Texas
serious,
too.
but yeah, but it was one of them that yeah, that was a very very sad situation.
Yeah.
Um, uh, North Surrey versus Salisbury,
Hmm.
Bandits versus South Lorraine, Wilkes Central versus RS Central. So those are the matchups in
And the
Class 4A.
the
Uh,
buys I think the buys of Brevard in the West was number one. I think Reedsville was number one in the East.
yeah, okay, yeah, Brevard does have a bye. Burns has a bye. Mount Pleasant has a bye.
Oh.
Pisgah has a bye. Newton Conover has a bye. Um, Maiden has a bye. Stuart Kramer has a bye. I didn't even know they were good. And High Brighton has a bye in the West. In the East,
The Rain.
Reedsville has a bye. Southwestern Randolph has a bye. Randleman has a bye. That's near Greensboro as well. Central Davidson, that's that same area, has a bye. East Duplin has a bye. Bunn
Hmm.
has a bye. T. Wingate Andrews and High Point has a bye.
Hmm.
And West Craven has a bye. So, you know, state championship game will be on my birthday, December 11th.
Hello.
Uh, so, hey, Anson, give me a birthday gift. I'll love that. I would
Yeah,
love to have
look,
it.
I love that one.
I
Uh,
love to have it. It'd be
um,
your pre-birthday gift.
uh, I just gonna call it out right now. I just this just me speaking. My favorite in the West right now is probably gonna be between let's see, yeah, High Brighton and Brevard. Because Brevard had Monroe last year, and I think if Monroe wasn't in their way, I think they would have been in that state championship game last year.
Yeah, I mean, Monroe was really good last year too, though. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah, no, no, that's what I'm saying. I said I
yeah,
know Monroe was there, and I knew Brevard wouldn't beat Monroe. That was just I
yeah,
knew.
and Reedsville is always a powerhouse too. So I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
I,
yeah, and
I
in the
not
East, yeah, yeah.
And I'll be straight up with you. If Anson doesn't win tomorrow, then I don't give a f who wins it. So
I just honest, yeah, yeah,
yeah, I'm just being real good. I wouldn't even be paying attention. I won't even be paying attention to high school football if Anson doesn't win tomorrow. So
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
I'll be keeping up with the scores with Coach Matt McLeod, for sure, head coach of the basketball program. But hopefully we that gets delayed and we can do the unthinkable tomorrow, man. I play this. I'll be there and
Hello.
I'll be cheering them on.
Oh yeah.
And I
Okay.
hope some people from Mexico County make the trip.
Yeah. So that was 4A. Let's go to 3A and
All
see what's
right,
going on in the 3A.
all right. Let's see what we got down there. All right, I'm gonna run through this. 'Cause I ain't gonna stay all day on it, but I'll run through it quickly.
Okay.
3A East, Wallace Rose Hill, traditional powerhouse, versus Green
Mhm.
Central. Aiden Grifton versus South Lenore. Wake Prep Academy versus Bartlett Yancey. Farmville Central versus Heidi Trask. Kinston versus Northmore. Princeton
Mhm.
versus Bedingfield. South Columbus versus West Bladen. Hertford County versus Northwood. I was talking about Hertford County earlier today. Oh, Shawan College was in Hertford County. That's why.
Yeah.
On the West Lincoln versus North Wilkes. Hendersonville versus East Davidson. West Davidson versus Madison.
Mhm.
East Surrey versus Polk County. Owen versus Union Academy.
Mhm.
Wilkes Central versus Wheatmore. Shelby versus McMichael. Thomasville versus Chase. The buys. Mountain Heritage has a buy.
Mhm.
Lincolnton has a buy.
Mhm.
Providence Grove has a buy. That sounds like a church name. Has a
Yeah.
buy. And North
Province
Stanley.
Grove.
North
Oh.
Stanley has a buy. Eastern Randolph has a buy. Walkertown has a buy. East Rutherford has a buy. And Mount Airy has a bye. In the East, James
Mhm.
Keenan has a bye. Whiteville has a bye. Martin County has a bye. Lewisburg has a bye. Midway has a bye. Pasquotank County has a bye. Northeastern has a bye. Um, and Pender has a bye. So that is the Class 3A.
3A. I'm just gonna just pick one myself. I'm out the west. Give me Walkertown, and out the east, Northeastern.
Hey, I'll have what you're having.
All
All right.
right.
What class you want to go to next?
Let's go to 1A because that's the little class.
Yeah, they don't even. Yeah. All right.
That's the little one.
Okay. Sally B. Howard plays Columbia.
Mhm.
I'm trying to find some more games. Hang on. Um, Washington County plays North Edgecombe.
Mhm.
Hobgood Charter plays Weldon. All
Mhm.
right, that's in the East. They don't have that many games. All right, in the Wild Wild West,
Mhm.
College Prep and Leadership plays Andrews. That's a school out in the mountains.
Yeah.
Um, They got some second round games already set up. Let me go back. Back in the
Yeah.
East, Wilson Prep is playing Southeast Collegiate, and in the West, the game is already set up. North Stokes versus East Columbus. We played East Columbus years ago.
Mhm.
Um, Winston Salem Prep plays Chatham Central. I've heard Chatham Central. Alpamore used to beat the crap out of them.
Yep.
Roseman, they're playing Bonnie Cone Leadership. Bonnie Cone, that's the founder of UNC Charlotte. Bonnie Ethel Cone,
Keep
a
calling.
great
Yep.
lady and pioneer in education. So I hope Bonnie Cone wins. Um, Bonnie Cone is buried on the campus of UNC Charlotte.
Really?
Anyway, the
Mhm.
buys in the West, Robbinsville has a buy.
Mhm.
North Stokes and East Columbus has a buy. Thomas Jefferson Classical has a buy. South Davidson has a buy. In the
Mhm.
East, Kip Pride has a bye. Um, Wilson Prep and Southeast Collegiate has a bye. Beargrass Charter has a bye. Northside Pinetown has a bye, and that's Class 1A.
I was gonna say Kip Pride and uh uh you say Bonnie Cone?
Well,
Is
Bonnie
it?
Cone, the 10 seed, but I'll be frank with you. I don't know about any of these people and don't really care. But if you want me to pick one,
I was gonna
uh,
pick Kip Pride. Sounds like something I've heard before. So Kip Pride.
I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna pick Thomas Jefferson Classic.
Okay, that's fair.
What class you want next?
All right, I think we should be in 2A now. I think yeah,
Yeah,
2A.
I don't think Ant coming by the way, but
Yeah, he might be out there. That was kind of figured.
but his defense, he has a big playoff game that they're preparing for, and one thing we know about Coach Harris, one thing we know about who 71st head coach and the coaching staff, which includes Coach Harris. One thing about those guys, they have a commitment to excellence and they have a commitment to attention to detail, and the well-being of that team is going to come first. So I definitely understand that Coach Harris got bigger priorities, but I know he wants to be here. But the one thing I do know
Yeah,
that
yeah.
he's not going to sacrifice his team. So kudos to him. All right,
Right.
Class 2A
All right.
in the East, Camden County versus West Columbus.
Mhm.
And then there are two buys. So there's a second round game already set up between Hopton and Lakewood.
Mhm.
Northampton County versus Lejeune. Northwest Halifax versus Union. This Union here is out here in it's in
Yeah.
Sampson County near Clayton
County.
and all. I mean in Sampson County near past Eastover and all that. What's near that area? Near Clinton and all that. That's
Clinton.
where that
Yeah.
yeah. South Side versus Pamlico County. There's a second round game already set up between East Carrollton and Gates County. American Leadership Academy and Rosewood. All right. Let's go to the Wild Wild West. Albemarle versus Cherokee. Shout out to Coach Richard Davis and the Bulldogs. They doing their thing.
Yep.
Um, North Rowan versus Avery County.
Hmm.
Hayesville versus Highland Tech. That's in Gastonia, Highland.
Yeah.
Mountain Island Charter from former opponent of ours versus Elkin. Mitchell versus Langtree Charter.
Mhm.
Cherryville versus South Stokes.
Mhm.
Let's take a look at who got buys. Bye. Let's see.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Murphy has a buy.
Hello.
Swain County has a buy.
Hello.
Corvian Community. That's where Carlos Huff's son plays, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's yeah. That school there.
Yeah. It's a team of homeschool kids, but they got to a state championship game last year, and well, I'm going to be rooting for them because they got a Bearcat, the son of a Bearcat playing for them.
Yep.
East Wilkes got a buy. Allegheny got a buy. Bishop McGinnis got a buy. Coach Terry Shanko and the South Stanley Rebel Bulls got a buy.
Shout out to them, man. I'm sorry. I don't want to cut you out, but shout out to them.
Yeah.
They
Christ, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that they split their conference, but they did win. They were co-conference champions. So shout out to South Stanley, man.
Who finished ahead of them?
I think they were It was them, North Stanley, and somebody else.
Well, they beat North Salem, so that put them ahead of North Salem.
I think it was a three-way tie for that conference.
Oh, who the heck else?
I think it was
Tied.
North Moran.
Yeah, North Rand did beat them, so yeah.
Yes, it was a three-way tie, but
Yeah, and that,
nonetheless, man.
yeah, man, that was Coach Terry Shanko's done a magnificent job.
Yeah,
And I was gonna say their second round matchup is already set because Christ the King got a bye, so South Stanley and Christ the King is gonna play,
next week. Yeah,
and Starmount got a bye. You know what? I want to say state championship game gonna be. Oh, let me go to the East. Oh, my bad.
yeah. Oh, you good? You
Uh,
good?
Tarboro, we know what they're about. That's what Todd Gurley played.
Yep.
Hopton got a bye. Lakewood got a bye. Manteo got a bye. East Bladen got a bye. Northwest Halifax got a. No, they didn't have no goddamn on bye. Oh, my bad. North Dublin got a bye. Holmes. That's where Paul Howard coached. Um,
Yep.
I got a homegirl that graduated from Holmes. My friend Tasha graduated from Holmes. Paul Hoggart coaches their former Anson County assistant, former Richmond County head coach.
Head coach. Yep.
Uh, hell, I can't say it. Per Pete.
Perquimius.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
we had trade places.
Hey, look, something like that. I've been practicing it all week.
Yeah,
Perquimius.
per Quemmons. They get a bye. East Character get a bye. Gates County get a bye. And Warren County get a bye. One thing, Warren County, that's where my cousin, my cousin Kenyatta. Anyway, Kyle,
Yeah.
that's her husband. He
Mhm.
he went to Warren County, so
Okay.
he been talking about Warren County to me all year. So I'm expecting big things at Warren County. You know what? In the championship game, I'm going to say Warren County versus South Stanley.
Ooh. I'm probably gonna say. Ooh. I'm with you, but shout out to your family, but it's hard to beat Tarboro, man. It's hard to beat Tarboro.
Yeah, it is. It
It,
is.
I
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Tarboro in the east, and in the west. Ooh. I'm just gonna take two right now: Corvin and South Stanley.
Hey man, I can't go against you. I can't
Yeah,
go against you.
Corvin and
All right,
South Stanley.
who else we got? Who else? I mean,
5A.
us. All right, give me 1 second.
Yeah,
All these goddamn
5A.
A's. Let's see. What North Carolina ain't got no. I ain't getting in there with no business with 8 classifications. This is just stupid. Anyway, let's go to 5A.
All right.
All right, what we got? 5A in
I
the
can't remember who
East.
it. Okay.
The East. Hunt. That's some Bearcat connection today. I'm gonna explain that.
Okay.
James Hunt, the #1 seed in the East out of Wilson. The head coach was Juan Jackson. Juan Jackson got his first coaching job when he was an assistant coach at Anson under Ed Emery. He's good. He and Fred Davis and all them coached together under Coach Emery. Uh, he
Okay.
um, he's also my cousin's two of my cousin's father. And
Oh.
and he also has his son Juan Jackson Jr. played wide receiver at Anson back around like
Yeah. Yeah.
2009 and stuff.
Yeah. One. I know. Yeah. I know one. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's his
Yeah.
dad. That's his dad, the head coach at Hunt.
Oh. I
Yep.
didn't know
So,
that, and I learned something new today.
yep. Uh, Excellent coach. Good guy, and I'm hoping they do something big. That's his alma mater, and
Mhm.
I think his goal is to lead him to the promised land before he retires. But they're number one seed. They got to buy. I know I don't go to the buys first. When I saw that, I just want to mention that family connection there. All right, the games: Eastern and East. Eastern Alamance versus Fike. Southwest Alamance versus Orange County, which is where Chapel Hill is. Well, the school is in Hillsboro, but you get my point. Havelock versus Richlands. Um, Richlands, that's where Mario Williams, former first overall pick in the NFL draft in 2005, former NC State legend, former
Mhm.
NFL Pro Bowler, he played at Richlands. And we all know Havelock, Farrell Cooper, and people like that
Yep.
played at Havelock. And last time we went to the East for a long road trip, we took a drubbing at Havelock.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we
anyway,
did.
the Havelock Rams. South Brunswick versus Seaford. J.F. Webb, that's in Oxford, versus Person, that's Person County, that's Roxborough.
Yep.
West Carteret versus C.B. Acock. Western Alamance, they used to be a powerhouse, versus South Granville, they used to be a powerhouse too. Rockingham County, that's in Wentworth, North Carolina, that's near Greensboro,
Yep.
versus Dixon. Let's go to the other side. Let's go to the other side. Let's see what we got. Hunter Huss versus Irwin.
That's up in the
West
mountains.
Rowan versus Southern Guilford. We beat them in 2013 in the plug game.
Yep.
West Henderson versus East Rowan. Concord versus Forest View, two former opponents of Anson back in the day.
Mhm.
Carson out of China Grove versus Montgomery Central, an opponent that Anson beat themselves against.
Yep.
Um, the Forest Hill Yellow Jackets versus Smoky Mountain. Oak Grove, that sounds like a church too, versus North Lincoln. North Davidson versus North Henderson. The buys. The South Point Red Raiders have a bye. The Monroe Redhawks have a bye. The East
Mhm.
Lincoln Mustangs have a bye. The Crest Chargers have a bye. The Hickory Red Tornadoes have a bye. Franklin Panthers have a bye. Northwest Cabarrus Trojans have a bye.
Mm.
The J.M. Robinson Bulldogs have a bye.
Bulldogs.
Let's go to the East. Hunt, who I mentioned earlier, has a bye. Southern Nash has a bye. Currituck County has a bye. Croatan has a bye. There's a lot of historical significance for Croatan. If you read about the Lost Colony, and you'll see that name quite a bit.
Yeah.
Jacksonville Northside has a bye. St. Paul has a bye. Rocky Mount has a bye. Northeast Guilford has a bye.
Hmm.
5A, who you with?
I'm gonna start with the East. I'm probably gonna go Hunt out the East
Mm-hmm.
and out the West, man. Ooh, that's a tough gauntlet in that West. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's hard to say.
I'm gonna
Um,
say Hunt versus Chris.
mm, that's fair. I probably say Hunt versus Chris. I would say Monroe too. And don't forget about Hickory, because
Mm,
that's why I say those all those teams have been in state championships in the last 3 years.
yeah, Monroe not going to no state championship. They ain't, I mean, they got a good team, but they're not state championship good.
Fair enough.
They're not nearly as good as they were the last couple of years.
That's
They're
fair.
good. I mean, they have a good team. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I feel like they'll go a couple. They'll get like to third round or something, but they're not going to state championship.
Fair enough. I
I
get you.
watched them. They don't. They're not nearly as loaded as they were. And don't get me wrong. It's amazing that this is the standard. This is considered a down year for them, and they still got to buy and went like 7-3 or something like that. And this was considered a down year.
Yeah, but they
That's the
they had a
standard.
yeah yeah that
That's the
that that
standard.
that non-conference was tough for them, and I applaud them for bouncing
Yeah,
back.
but just even watching them in person, they're not as good as they were last year.
Got you.
Not even close as good as they were last year.
Fair enough. But
But
I'll say Chris.
I'm going to go with Hunt. I feel like Juan Jackson's going to fulfill the promise,
Hmm.
and there's a little Bearcat in that. So
Oh yeah yeah
what?
yeah.
Yeah. So there's still some Bearcat connections in these playoffs aside from us. All right, we're
Fair.
going to 6A.
6A.
Only about two more A's left, and we can get the heck out of here.
Yeah,
All
two
right.
more A's.
The East. Hartnett Central versus Southview. This is 6A, by the way.
Yeah.
Terry Sanford. I hope they go back just to 1 through 4 in the next 4 years. Jeez, this is tiring. Terry Sanford versus E. Smith. That's Anthony teaches at Terry Sanford,
Mm.
I think. Franklinton versus Grays Creek. Lee County versus Westover. West Brunswick versus West Johnson. J.H. Rose versus Triton. The 6A East. South Johnson versus Vance County. Eastern Guilford versus White Oak. Eastern Guilford is where Torrey Holt and Terrence Holt played. In the
Right.
wild, wild west, with St. Stephen versus Mount Tabor, AC Reynolds versus South Caldwell, Olympic versus Ragsdale,
Mm.
Southeast Guilford versus Central Cabarrus, Statesville versus Alexander Central. They play anyway. No, they have been in the same conference, but they
Same
play in the regular
conference.
season.
Yeah, I'm
If
about to
they're
say
not in the
that.
same conference, they play every year in non-conference at least. I think
Hmm.
they played even this year. But Dudley versus Glenn, Kings Mountain versus Ben L. Smith, Asheville versus Western Guilford. All right, the buys. The buys in the West. Watauga County got a buy. Charlotte
Hmm.
Catholic has a buy.
Hmm.
Sun Valley has a buy.
Hmm.
Morganton Freedom has a buy. Shout out to Coach Tim McMahon, former Freedom coach, former Hanson coach.
Hmm.
Ashbrook has a buy. Ashboro has a buy. TC Robertson has a buy. And Northern Guilford has a buy. In the East, Jacksonville has a buy. Scotland County has a buy. Burlington Williams has a bye. Union Pines, coached by Brian Teal, has a bye. Middle Creek has a bye. Southern Alamance has a bye. Coach Anthony Harrison, the 71st Falcons, have a bye. Eastern Guilford has a bye. No, Eastern Guilford ain't got no bye. Northern Nash has a bye.
In
Who you with?
the East, of course, I'm going with the Falcons.
Me
They're
too.
still they're still the defending Eastern Regional champions 2 years in a row, and I see a third year coming.
I can't deny it.
Out the West, who? Watauga probably out the West.
I'm gonna say 71st versus Ashbrook. I'm gonna have 71st winning it all. I think they finally complete the cycle.
Yeah, Ashbrook's been a good team this year. I just want to see them get tested. They did play Chris, and they handled Chris pretty good. So
Yeah, or like I said, playoff time now, so they're gonna get tested.
yeah,
All
they're getting
right,
tested.
7-8. This is we're
Ooh,
getting
this
some
the
of
cream.
we're getting
This the
some we're
cream of
getting
the
some of the
crop.
yeah we're getting some of the premium meat now. This the Japanese A5 wagyus and stuff like that
top
now.
top cuts.
Yeah, man, the filet mignons, the New York strips, the ribeyes, the like I said, the A5 Japanese wagyu cuts and all that. You can see the marbling and all that. All right, 7-8 East.
All right.
Holly Springs versus Fuquay Varina. That's if they're not in the same conference, they're in the same area, same county.
Area. Yeah.
Cary versus Ashley. Sanderson versus East Wake. Wake Forest versus North Brunswick. There's a lot of Raleigh up in this thing. New Hanover
Mhm.
versus Heritage. Southern, I'm assuming that's Southern Durham, maybe
Probably so.
versus
I think.
versus Lumberton. New
Hmm.
Bern versus Overhill. South Central versus South Garner. Let's go to the West. R.J. Reynolds. I don't want to back old jokers winning versus West Cabarrus. Davie County versus West Meck. Kannapolis versus South Iredale. That seems like that may have been a conference game at some
Conference
point.
game before. I think it
Last
was.
year, they were in the same conference last year. I don't think they're in the same conference this year though. But Kannapolis versus South Iredale, Butler versus Hopewell. That is a conference game. I think it was
Game.
used to be.
Yeah.
Um, Page versus McDowell County.
Hmm.
Porter Ridge versus Culberson. Now that is a conference game. Who
That's
knows?
conference game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ain't no way
East
around that one.
East Forsyth versus Purnell Sweat. Purnell Sweat, former Anson rival.
Hmm.
Um, Marvin Ridge versus Chapel Hill.
Hmm.
All right, let's go over the buys.
All right.
Grimsley has a buy.
Of course.
Jack Britt has a buy. Ronald Reagan has a buy. Mooresville has a buy. Independence has a buy. Richmond Senior has a buy. Lake Norman has a buy. And Weddington has a buy. In the East, Cardinal Gibbons has a buy. I always call them the Charlotte Catholic of Raleigh. Cardinal Gibbons has a buy. Hillside, that's out of Durham, they have a buy. Cape Fear, that's in Fayetteville, they have a buy. Garner, that's near Raleigh, they have a buy. Clayton, that's near Raleigh as well, they have a buy. D.H. Conley has a buy. Southeast Raleigh has a buy. And Cleveland has a buy. Who you with? Eh,
Oh man. Let me start in the East. Cleveland's west to east, right? They're east.
Cleveland's in the East.
Okay, I'm taking Cleveland East, but let me get to the West because the West it intrigued me the other day. I seen something that could potentially be an old rivalry renewed
Mm-hmm.
if make be, and you already know what I'm talking about.
I
Rich,
really want. Oh, Richmond Senior versus somebody or
Richmond,
Independence.
yeah, Richmond seeing Independence. We could potentially see that matchup in the third round
Man,
potentially.
yeah, that would be a great matchup for old time's sake.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I was like, ooh, that's gonna be pretty good there.
Well, I mean, both of
Um,
them got to get there first. But yeah,
they got to get there first, but ooh,
I tell you what, the Richmond Senior not going to lose to Porter Ridge or Culberson. I will tell you that much.
no, they gonna win those.
And I don't think Independence going to lose to McDowell. And I don't think they lose to Page either. So I
Um,
mean, we'll see how it all plays out. But like I
I
say,
think
it's
it's good. I think it's gonna come down to Weddington and Independence, and I think Weddington will probably edge Independence.
I think Independence beat Weddington, but I mean I think Grimsley got their QB back too, their 5-star QB back. I think unless the timing is off, I'm gonna
That's
say I'm picking Grimsley.
ooh, yeah. I would have picked Grimsley too, but when I seen that announcement he was coming back, I'm like you, the timing. I want to see how he comes out in the second round because he's been out the whole season pretty much. This is his first game back since the opening game. I want to see what's gonna happen in round two. So I'm pretty sure they'll handle business for the first two games they play. But
I
mm,
think Independence or Richmond County would beat Weddington.
think so.
That speed.
True.
Weddington is a physical. Don't get me wrong. Weddington got some ballers. They got a great team.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but I think that's Richmond Senior got deadly speed.
yeah. They got some speed over there now. I'm whew, man. I can't really pick in the West. I cannot say three. I'm just gonna say three teams I think that can make it there, which would be
Speaking,
Weddington. Hmm?
go ahead, because what I'm gonna say gonna be a little tangent. Go ahead.
Oh no, well I'm just gonna say the three teams I think out of the West would probably be Independence, Grimsley, and Weddington. That's my three that I think that will probably be one of the winners out of the West.
Yeah. Speaking of speed, at deadly speed, there's a young man on Answer's team that I think has potential to be super special. If he continues to grow in skill and continue to put in work, and I'm going,
Hmm.
Cordarius Bivens has potential to be the one.
Yeah,
Kadarius Beaton's just a sophomore. He started on varsity as a freshman last year at corner, playing running back this year. If utilized properly and put in position to be successful, and he continues to put the time to work in during the offseason, Cordarius Bivens has a chance to go into his senior year. I always say I compare him to James Kirby. He has potential to be a James Kirby type back. He got potential to be something really special if he puts the time in. And I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm saying if he continues to put the time in,
yeah,
and put the work in and stuff like that, he can be really great. He ran for 968 yards as a sophomore, got a chance to go for over a thousand tomorrow. This young man, if he puts the time in, continue to put time in, hone in on his craft, and has a willingness to be great, and has the want to be great, he could be special like that and be great and can get this team back to the next level. And so I'm challenging that young man to continue to grow. You're already good, and now is the time to take that step from being good to being great.
I agree.
Yeah,
I think he's the second coming.
but it's yeah, and get us back to where we used to be. Let's go to
Yeah.
8A, man. That's the final classification. Not
Hey.
as many teams. All right.
Mm-hmm.
In the East, Laney, that's where Michael Jordan played basketball versus Willow Spring. Apex
Mm-hmm.
Friendship got a bye, so
Riley.
I'll do yeah, but my bad. I shouldn't have called it. Roseville versus Green Hope. Leesville Road versus Broughton. Panther Creek versus Enlow. That's the East. In the West, South Meck versus Palisades. That's a kind of like a new rivalry.
Robert. Yeah.
But the game is going to be played at Waddell's old campus, named after E. Waddell, former principal in Mecklenburg County and a former principal in Albemarle. Those who've been to the E. Waddell Community Center in
He's
Albemarle,
saying
that's who that's named
Ramoff.
after. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
West Forsyth and Northwest Guilford. Pinecrest, shout out to Coach Nick Evans, former Bearcat, versus Chambers, Captain Munderland, who's really let that program fall off. Um, and Providence versus Ardrey Carroll. Let's go to the buys. In the West, the buy Huff. They're going to huff and puff and kick some, you know what.
Mm-hmm.
Mallet Creek, Myers Park,
Mm-hmm.
West Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
Those, the man, prayers to West Charlotte. West Charlotte's had a rough go of it, man. They lost a young lady at age 18 that was tragically lost her life over the weekend. They had an incident, I think, on their campus today. It's been a tough go over the last 7 or 8 days for West Charlotte. So those young men and ladies over there, West Charlotte, keep me in your prayers, man. I'm about to say these young kids have enough they go through and they see and they witness, and just want them to be in a position where they can go to school, focus on things that kids enjoy, and not have to worry about the rigors of our society. So I mean. Uh, Hopefully, West Charlotte could have a good weekend and have something to make them cheer.
Right.
Uh, in the East, Dubai Hoggard, uh, Apex Friendship, Jordan, that's out of Durham, Milbrook, that's in Raleigh. Who you
Mm-hmm.
picking?
Picking Hargett out the East. Out the West. Ugh, I just want to see that Huff and West Charlotte matchup.
I got
That.
West. I got West
Yeah,
Charlotte winning the whole thing.
yeah, I think West Charlotte should be able to handle 8A. The Huff ain't been tested this year yet, so
I think
I
West
think
Charlotte wins the whole thing.
that's fair enough. Yeah, I agree. I think
And
they'll play harder.
Yeah, I can see that too. The thing about 7A looks tougher than 8A.
It does. The teams in the 7A look like they need to be in the 8A.
Yeah, see, and then you don't have as many in there in the 8A either. So it's well, 8A is easier to 7. I mean, the game's got to be played, but but the only thing about 8A, they don't have as many teams. That's how it should be. They're only how many? 6 versus 11, 7 versus 10. It's only 22 teams. No,
Yeah.
12. 24
Oh,
teams
12
in the
teams.
whole thing.
Okay.
Right, 12 in the
I,
East, 12 in the West. That's what a playoff bracket is supposed to like. It ain't supposed. You know what? Never
yeah.
mind.
No, you got your rights. Sure. Speak your
Yeah,
mind.
I mean, this ain't supposed to be everybody's invited to the party.
I agree.
There's supposed to be a level of exclusivity to a postseason, not inclusivity.
It's mathematics, man. The mathematics have ruined competition.
Right,
I'll go out and say that. This,
right. It's supposed to be exclusive, not
yeah.
inclusive.
Mm-hmm.
There's got a good friend of my father. He used to always talk about the exclusive club. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be an exclusive club, not an inclusive club.
And it's became a inclusive club.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. This is, but
it's a
it,
money.
it it's a money thing. I'm
It's
sorry,
a
it's a
money.
money
It's a money
thing.
thing. It's a money thing, man. I don't bite my tongue or I don't spit my food, but
It's a
it
money
it's a
thing.
thing.
Everybody and their brother know that it's a money thing.
Yeah, it's all money. When you look at the grand picture of it, you look at all these games that's gonna be played tomorrow. You're looking at almost maybe probably 200 games.
And that don't make no sense. First of all, you ain't got no business with 8 classifications.
That's true.
And I'm sorry, I know I'm supposed to talk all sophisticated and stuff, but when it comes to foolishness, I just gotta get down home.
I mean, it's nothing wrong with it. Like I said, it's we're opinion based,
Yeah.
my opinion is, like I said, I'm not for, if you don't got the record, you shouldn't get in because if
Well,
you
I'm just
go
talking about
in,
as many teams. I'm talking about if you got 57 varsity football teams in your classification. I know it's 64 schools. You ain't
yeah,
got no business with 40. This not even. I'm not talking about Nancy. I'm just talking about in general. I'm just
yeah,
talking about the whole system. You ain't got no business with 48 out of 57 teams, or even 48 out of 64 teams making the playoffs in your classification. You ain't got no business with only 9 teams that's not making the playoffs. You ain't got no business having a system like that.
no. I'm gonna tell you now. I'm gonna tell you how they should have done it, and you probably could agree and test to this. If you're gonna do eight, right? You should have still did 16 in the East and 16 in the
Mm-hmm.
West because
Bingo.
that would have been, and I would have never, I would not have a problem with that.
And if you want to use the RPI, so be it. But like I said, 16 in the East, 32 teams. I can live with 32 out of 64. That's half of them. That's still me half of your teams are not making it. When you got like 80 something percent, let me do a little math.
Yeah, this math. So give us some RPI math. Yeah.
Well, this ain't RPI. This is just basic math. All right. I'm just trying to do 48 out of 57. This is in class 4A. That means 84% of your teams make the postseason. Let's say I know that they're not. There's seven schools that didn't carry a varsity football team this year, but let's say even hypothetically if they did, 48 out of 64. That's still 75% of your classification making the playoffs. That's ridiculous.
That's true. The NCAA, the
Let me
NCHSAA
ask you this.
said
No, no, no. This what was West Stanley's record?
1-9.
See, I mean, I love Ralph. Excuse me, I love Coach Jackson, and I think the world of him. And I know he's going to build something there. I just feel it. But so this is not a shot at him because we know that he doesn't have a lot to work with over there, and and Rome wasn't built in a day, and I feel like he's going to turn that program around like he turned South Stanley. I mean, like he turned North Stanley around. So
Right.
I have confidence that he's going to fix it. But I'm talking, but as of this year, a 1-9 team ain't got no business making the playoffs.
Nope.
I mean that's silly,
I agree.
and that's not and nothing against them. I'm just saying, and I'm just talking about. It just so happened that they're the example that I'm using. But
It's just money over competition. That's the new slogan.
1 and freaking 9, Nick.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. I'm with you 100%. And you did win a conference game.
So what would have happened if we would have lost? We would still got in.
That would have been a high possibility.
So
The
what's the
possibility
so what's the incentive for winning football games?
at this point, none.
Let me stop for people rolling their eyes up tomorrow. Then I have to pretend like I'm scared.
What's going on, Cuz? What's going on with you?
Who
Appreciate
that?
you for coming
D-Roll?
through. No, that's Niecy.
Oh, hey.
Nicole, appreciate you for coming through.
Yeah, definitely, young lady. We definitely appreciate that love.
Yeah, I don't think that that many teams should be in. You could go see now with the 8 classification, you can do 16. That's fair. That you
16,
could.
yeah, 16 in the East, 16 in the West. If you don't finish in that top 24, then
You
take
don't get
your
in.
right, right.
You don't get in. I mean, because now you don't have a cluttered 3A anymore. It's been broken up so much.
Man, if God let everybody in heaven at this rate, nobody will have to worry about their sins.
Hey, you know what? With that note, we about to get up out of here.
I'm just saying, if God let
Uh,
everybody in heaven at the same rate of North Carolina playoffs, nobody will have to worry about being punished for their sins.
yeah, you ain't lying. You ain't lying at all. But like I said, it's money, man. Money, politics, and whatever.
Yeah, you know how it be.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is what it is. You got in, you got in. Take it with however you take it. That's just the way this thing works now.
Yeah.
And it's no knock to it's not a knock to nobody. It's just the way that they got it set up. I don't think it's not the programs. It's more so the association, the state association. So I'm not knocking the programs. I'm kind of just knocking on the state's door. So that's my
They
two
don't care. They
cents.
don't care what people like me. You got to say. I can tell you
Oh
that
yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
No, no, I know they don't care, but I'm just gonna let it be known. That's just what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But yeah, we at the hour and 22 minute mark. We're gonna get up on out of here. I'm gonna give you the floor, my brother.
All right, man. I'm gonna just reiterate what I said earlier. To the Anson Varsity boys. Despite everything that we just talked about, it is the beginning of a new season. It is the first day of a new life. It is your first opportunity at a new lease. It is a chance to erase every negative thing that happened during the season, and it is a chance to paint a brand new picture on a brand new blank canvas. The opportunity to accomplish everything that you set out to accomplish is still right in front of you. The
Hmm.
road is going to be a little longer. The task is going to be a little more difficult. The probability is going to be a little lower. But nevertheless, the opportunity is in front of you. And if you want it, there's nothing to do but to go and get it.
And with that being said, hey man, appreciate everybody for coming through. Tomorrow Anson kicks off at 7.
Yep.
Yeah, 7, and we'll be in
Yeah,
the Eastern Wing.
I'm gonna get down to Waysboro sometime in the afternoon, kill some time, maybe grab something to eat, whatever. But I'll hit you up
Okay.
when I get in town.
Yeah, yeah, just hit me up. Yeah, I'll be off. But with that, we'll be out, y'all, and we'll catch y'all.